The proposals we make are about rebuilding trust in all EU institutions. Because for citizens, Brussels is Brussels, and they don't distinguish between Commission, Parliament, Council. They look at the EU, at all of us, in the same way. I don't care for EU institutions pointing fingers at each other. Don't like that at all. On something like transparency, we need to work together and to achieve the highest standards together. We need to reflect collectively on how we can win back the trust of our citizens. That means delivering on the big issues that matter most to citizens. How we make the decisions here in Brussels and who influences them is a matter of public concern and scrutiny. The Commission wants all EU institutions to shed light on this. Many citizens answered our public consultation to say they feel the same. We got strong support for this idea in our public consultation. Ultimately, it boils down to trust. Trust that we do things openly, fairly, and in the best interest of the citizens we serve. Today's proposal for a mandatory transparency register covering interactions with all 3 EU institutions is, in my view, an important step in the right direction. It will open the windows of all the institutions in Brussels. It is this Commission which has let the public know who commissioners, our cabinets and our directors general are meeting. It is this Commission which has applied the rule, if you're not on the transparency register, you don't get a meeting. Since then, we have seen about 4,000 new entries into the register. 4,000. Quite a telling number, I think. Building on the Commission's positive experiences, we are now proposing that the other EU institutions would join our approach. We want Parliament and Council to sign up to the same minimum requirements for their interactions with interest representatives who seek to influence European policies and decisions. Our proposal would make the register mandatory for any lobbyists trying to influence policy making in Brussels by extending the no registration, no meeting rule to members of the European Parliament, the Secretary-General and Directors-General of the Parliament, and the Secretary-General of the political groups. On the Council side, the rule would be extended to the ambassadors and deputies of the current or incoming presidency of the Council, as well as to the Council's Secretary-General and Directors-General. In addition to extending the coverage of the Transparency Register, we propose measures to improve the data it holds, better control its quality and enforce the rules. And those who don't play by the rules risk being suspended from meetings with EU institutions or even removed from the register altogether. I believe that thanks to the mandatory register, all citizens will be able to see who's trying to influence EU policy, who they represent, and how much they spend on lobbying. We will now get to work with Parliament and Council and hope to conclude these negotiations as quickly as possible. We are fully committed to openness and transparency in our decision-making. This is our proposal to the other 2 institutions. We are open for debate on this. If they want to go further than this, by all means, we are open for that as well. But let's take all EU institutions to the same level and let's increase collectively the transparency of what we do. Thank you very much.